Hey, Whippersnaps, this is Tortimer the Grey. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Pokemon Showdown Little Cup Battles. This is our 200th episode of Pokemon Showdown, kind of random battles, because I haven't broken it up into tiers necessarily, but just straight up random Pokemon Showdown battles. This is the 200th episode, and that's not even counting all the stuff from the subscriber challenges, all the stuff from the Grey version. It's just this series of Pokemon Showdown. So 200 episodes. I wanted to do something really special for you guys. And so what we're doing today, I've got quite a number of teams that we're going to be participating with. I think we've got like 5 or 6 battles that we're going to be looking at. This team that we're using right now is the first Little Cup team I ever put together. I think it's been tweaked slightly. Starly was not originally on the team. I think we had a Murkrow originally, but Murkrow has since been banned because I think I put this together right at the beginning of the Gen 6 shakeup, and so yeah. But anyway, we've got Mumbo out there up against the Frillish. Mumbo got a good knockoff there up against the Frillish and is going to be able to X-Scissor Frillish into Oblivion there, so there we go, Mumbo doing well. Taking a little bit of a toxic damage. The Doduo then comes out. Mumbo doesn't actually have any direct damaging of rock moves, so I'll go ahead and switch out into Glyph. Well, I figure Glyph can take pretty much anything that a Doduo might throw up, at least I expect so. I'm a little worried that might have like a close combat move or something on it potentially, because I don't really use Doduo much, but didn't end up being the case. He was able to take it and then Volt Switch out on the Togepi, leaving Diddy wide open to come in and fake out the Togepi into Oblivion. Diddy then comes in, takes a hard Psychic from the Abra, but has the Focus Sash, and is able to throw up the Shadow Claw there, and finish off the Abra. I'm going to be honest with you, it's been a while since I've used this team, and I forgot Diddy had Focus Sash, so I was just kind of trying to sacrifice play Diddy there, and then switch into somebody else, but Diddy was able to clean up that Abra, then Crew's able to come in and finish off the battle for us. So yeah, this is the first Little Cup team I ever put together. Klungar sent me a message 200 episodes ago. It's almost been 3 years now. He's like, hey, I'd like to battle you in Little Cup. I'm like, what's Little Cup? And the rest is history. So I threw this team together, and yeah, 200 episodes later, guys. 200 episodes in almost 3 years. Here we are today. So we've got a couple other battles to take part in today, guys. So let's go ahead and do that, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty guys, battle number 2, and we are now using our quote-unquote main Little Cup team. And now obviously this team is not really it's not really the main team, but for a while there we had that first Little Cup team you guys just saw. And then I think I actually, now that I'm remembering, I think I built that team originally in just at the tail end of the Gen 5 mechanics. And then we switched over into the Gen 6 metagame, which is when I kind of started developing this team. And this team has undergone some changes as well. I think originally, Lulu, the Cranidos, and Fluffy, the, oh gosh, what is that thing even called? And Fluffy, the little grass guy, fairy guy down there. I don't think they were originally on the team. I think we had a Gliscor for sure, and then I think we had a Slurpluff, or whichever the pre-evolution of that is. So this team has undergone some changes as well. It still ends up working pretty decently. I did a decent amount of testing after Gliscor and Slurpluff's pre-evolution. Can't remember its name now. It's been so long since I've gotten to use one because they banned it. But so we had a couple of bannings as the Gen 6 metagames sort of kind of began taking shape, and so we had to make some changes to the team for sure. But Fluffy comes in here, and Cottony, that's what Fluffy's called. Fluffy's a Cottony. And so we did some testing though, and I think Lulu and Fluffy kind of seem to have the best synergy with the existing team, and so that's what we've kind of gone with. Fluffy goes down there to a Sludge Bomb from the Onion. Robin is then going to come in and throw up the Acrobatics to finish off the Oddish, and then Naruto, the Vulpix, is going to switch in and go down to another Acrobatics as well, so Robin cleaning up there, Slippy not even needing to come in. But yeah, anyway guys, so there we go, another fun Little Cup battle for you there. Today, we've got 3 more to participate in, so let's go ahead and jump right into them, shall we? Here we go! Alrighty guys, here we are with actually a brand new team that you guys have not seen before because I just put it together, and this team is actually, somebody gave me the suggestion, and I forget who it was right now, so I apologize, but somebody suggested, I was like, oh man, the next episode is 200, we need to do something special. Somebody suggested that I make a team with each of the 6 Hexathalok starters. And so that's what I've done. Leo is our priority Squirtle. He leads off and is unfortunately going to go down to the Bulbasaur, but Olorin, our current starter in Season 6, switches in, finishes off the Bulbasaur there very nicely. Going to take a Volt Switch from the Helioptile, and Bellsprout's going to come in, who's going to end up taking the Psychic that was meant for the Helioptile, but it works out pretty well considering Bellsprout is also a Poison type, so it does decent damage there, especially considering it's not Stab. Then Zuko, our Season 2 starter, comes in, sets up that Protect so we can get the speed boost going. Bellsprout throws up the knockoff, but the Eevee Light's not going to really matter a whole lot because with the Sun, we're going to be able to finish off the Bellsprout without too much trouble there. Was that? It wasn't even a crit. No, yeah, that just did very nicely. Then they switch in Star Fox again. Zuko's got enough damage to be able to finish that off with another Flame Charge, so we take out that. Then Charmander switches in. We're going to throw up the Curse here, but Charmander's going to throw up the Ancient Power, and so we are going to go down before we're able to Bonton Pass those stat changes onto somebody else, unfortunately. But then Kensei, our Season 5 starter, the Oshawott, switches in. Charmander continues to set up with the Ancient Power, but Kensei's going to land a Hydro Pump there, and even in the Sun, finish off the Charmander without too much trouble. At which point, Helioptile comes in, and Kensei's going to switch back out, leaving room for our Season 4 starter, Deku, to switch in. Unfortunately, Deku did not make it out of Season 4. Deku was the first, and hopefully only, starter death that we encountered during the Hexathalok, and so Deko's going to come in, sets up the rocks, sets up the screens, and is going to chip away at the Execute's substitute here, taking Energy Balls itself, but with the screens and the resistance, it doesn't do a lot. Able to get rid of the substitute there, as Deku is going to switch on out into Littlefoot, our Season 3 starter, and Littlefoot has Hidden Power Fire on it, so going to start throwing those up against the Execute there. Execute is got the Harvest ability, unfortunately, though, and it's got the Oran Berry, so it's going to continue to heal itself back up with its recovered Oran Berries, as the ability allows it to do, which is a very useful ability. I don't begrudge them using that at all. Littlefoot, again, behind the shields as they start going away, throwing up those Hidden Power Fires, taking a little bit of damage from the Energy Balls itself, but Littlefoot is a good bulky Chikorita, and so able to take those as continues to chip away, and thankfully the Harvest does not activate on a turn, allowing us to finish off the Execute there. At which point they're down to their Helioptile. The Dark Pulse is going to finish off Littlefoot, at which point Kensei is going to come in, take a Volt Switch, and go down, leaving us Deku on Helioptile, and thankfully for us, unlike in Season 4, Deku is the last man standing, as opposed to how the rest of our starters have played out, and so Deku stands there victorious on the battlefield, finishing off the Helioptile for us. And another fun team in the books. Probably not the most viable team, but I did actually get a couple of battles, and before I really realized, how exactly I wanted to do the makeup of this episode, I had like 2 or 3 good battles that I could have used, and I decided, you know what, I'm just going to do a bunch of battles with different teams to kind of showcase where we've come and where we're going and things like that. And so, yeah, there we go. That is our Hexathalok starter team. Thank you so much for the suggestion. It was a lot of fun to put this team together, and it was interesting with Pokemon like Oshawott for Kensei and things like that. There are no suggested, there are no really suggested movesets for those Pokemon, because they're just like, don't use Oshawott, it's terrible. So figuring that out, some of these I was able to get some good ones, and I've used some of these in the past as well, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, thank you so much for the suggestion. We got 2 more battles to show you guys today, so let's jump right into them, shall we? Here we go! Alrighty guys, here we go, and this is our Road to Ranked team. A while ago, it's been a good long while at this point, we did a Little Cup Road to Ranked series where we were like, hey, let's see how far we can get, and it turned out that we weren't really able to get all that far. A certain distance into the ladder, I don't remember if we ended up getting to like 1300 or 1400 or something like that. Our goal was to get in the top 50, I think, maybe, or something like that. I think we needed to get to an area around 1500 on the ladder. And it just, with my philosophy of doing battling, I don't like just using the OP Pokemon, just so OP Pokemon, just so I can win. I like using Pokemon that I like, and so you won't see me using a Mindfu, you won't see me using a Meditite. Some of these Pokemon that are just, you see them on every, competitive team, but you're not going to see me using them. So with my philosophy, I wasn't really able to finish off that with completing our goal. It was just kind of like at a certain point we just hit a wall. It's like we just can't can't win past this level because everybody was using the same, 5 Pokemon with maybe 1 difference or something like that. So, but yeah, it was a fun series, and this is the team we kind of developed throughout the course of that. We have Boots as our lead because every Little Cup team, any team that I go anywhere with is going to be having a Boots on it. Fumesy, another mainstay of our teams, a great physical wall here, going to be able to outstand the Shelder here, in fact, and throw up that Clear Smog to get rid of the Shell Smash. So that works out very nicely. Going to go down to the Icicle Spear here, but still did some really good work, saved this battle for us there. Doria able to come in and throw up that Thunderbolt. But we made this team, we started with a very different looking team, and we kind of tweaked things as we went along. So as we would do like a week's episode, we'd be like, okay, so this component really doesn't seem to be working, let's try something else. And so I think like we started off with the Dwebble and Priority Squirtle and some of these other Pokemon on this team. I think Crew was on the team at the start and things like that. And so, yeah, I mean, it definitely changed. It was a very fun experiment, and I think we found a good, solid team. In fact, most of the teams that we use on a regular basis, I kind of rotate through all my teams for this series. Most of those have ended up being pretty good, and so, yeah, I'm pretty happy with how all of those have ended up, and this team is no exception. Dory in here up against the Carablast at the very end, gonna throw up that Thunderbolt and save it for us, winning the battle. So thank you guys for watching this one. I have one final battle for you, so let's check it out now, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty guys, final battle for today, and we are using a fan favorite team, the First Root Rodents, and Timon comes out, unfortunately not going to be able to do a whole lot for us there. He goes down before he's able to get his Hypnosis up. That Axew doing good work, but Bigwig comes in and is able to finish off the Axew, gets a good return off on Humpty Dumpty, gets his Choice Scarf knocked off by Humpty Dumpty, and is therefore going to be able to switch to Stone Edge from return and finish off the Humpty Dumpty. So that actually worked out pretty well for us. Then the Vulpix switches in, Bigwig is going to avoid the Fire Blast and throw up the Earthquake, so nothing better could have happened than for them to knock off his Choice Scarf at that point, able to do some really good damage to a couple of Pokemon there, so that works out really nicely. At which point Worf comes in. I'm hoping Worf can withstand the Solar Beam and be able to get a Flame Charge off. Unfortunately, that's not going to work out. Bandit comes in. We throw up the Protect to try and stall out the Sun a little bit. Now that Vulpix is dead, I figure that's probably our best bet against something so massively powerful as this. Bandit gets a good move off, but unfortunately going to go down in one hit to the Solar Beam as well, at which point Derpina comes in, going to be able to throw up that Quick Attack to clean up the Oddish, so that works out really nicely. The Thunderbolt comes in from the Helioptile, but Derpina is going to be able to withstand it, throw up the Return, finish off the Helioptile, throw up the Quick Attack to land on the Abra. Unfortunately going to go down, but that does leave it open for Scout to come in, and Scout is able to just barely withstand the Psyshock, throw up a Hyper Voice, and finish off the Abra itself. So a very close battle there with the First Root Rodents team. This team is one of the, it's kind of like the Hexathlon team. This team is built up, well, it's not made up of Hexathlon Pokemon, but every game has its First Root Rodent, Rattata and Sentret and, Zigzagoon and Bidoof and Patrat and Bunnelby. So I decided to make a team of these guys a long time ago, and it's worked out really nicely. I've really enjoyed playing around with this team. I think you guys always enjoy when I get to bring them out because they're not Pokemon you guys would generally expect to be able to do a whole lot in a competitive environment, but they each have their own little niches. Sentret has a little bit more of a special attack slant, so we're able to give them each a little niche, and they're able to do really well. Derpina, our Bidoof, is very bulky, those sorts of things. Bigwig, the Bunnelby is super power. I mean, so it's a lot of fun using this team. People, they're kind of dumbfounded when they lose to it. I think you guys enjoy getting to watch it. But anyway, guys, that is the 200th episode of Pokemon Showdown on this channel. Thank you guys so much for all the support you've given both me and this series. This series, actually, when I first started, it really helped us grow our channel a lot. Views have not been as amazing on it over the last year or so, but it's such a fun little thing to be able to come in here and do. It's so nice and fun to just kind of jump in and do some battles, especially when the Showdown community is being cooperative and not always forfeiting things and things like that, because that's really difficult to kind of waste a lot of time on, and suddenly you get a forfeit halfway through a long battle or something. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been Tortimer the Great, and you guys have been great. Make sure to leave those likes, comments, and subscriptions for me, guys, and I will see you all back here next time on Pokemon Showdown. Alrighty, guys, have a good one.